Welcome to the space of functional health to Eastern medicine. I am your host, Vandana Chandar. I welcome you into the space. And today, interestingly, I was asked this such a great question. And instead of just answering to this one lady, I want the response to be everybody's. I want this response to actually belong to everybody. So we'll start. The question has been now that she says that I have asked this question so many times to so many people, especially to women who work in this space, in this field of healing. And now that you have visible muscles, how do you gain strength? Because you can do anything in an imbalanced body, but it stays in the state of imbalance. Do you heal first? Do you then build? Like, how do you even approach healing in such a case, right? Like, how do you build and then heal forever? Now, let's talk about this because this is such a great question. It's such a great question. Now, let me tell you one thing. Healing, it has phases. Your body, the structure, it has phases, and there is never going to be one route alone. There's never going to be like, oh my god, I healed my body, now I'm forever healed. Oh my god, nothing ever is going to happen again. The sad part about 2026 often is that we assign the lean body as we assign it in our head as a healthy body, which is not true, which is not at all true, right? Because if I talk about the Chinese medicine, we need a specific amount of fat on our bodies. We actually call this as your money back. So let me give you an example, including a little of Miang Jiang in it. It's called Chinese face reading. So in Chinese face reading, you're supposed to have a little flesh around your lower jaw. This is your jaw, right above your jaw, around your lower cheeks. You're supposed to have some flesh. And this is what it means. Let me invite you into this new perspective today, because in Chinese tradition, these are the reserves that you use. Okay, so when you do have a little of flesh over here on your lower cheeks, when you do have this flesh, it's a very good sign that your body has reserves. And this is what I will tell you when I invite you into this new perspective, that fat is not bad. It is a signal. It is a signal and a sign from the body that there is a need for more. There is a need for more to hold on to. And I want to invite you into another perspective of connecting this to trauma, connecting this to what your body is going through. My first intention with you would not be to nudge you or push you into this direction that, hey, let's go, let's build muscle. Let's just put out this visualization of one body that is super healthy and you just go chase it. You just go try to build it, try to achieve it. No, we are not there. I want you to assess your current state first, and I want you to just reflect, why is the body here in the first place? Because any shift that is going to happen to you, any shift that you invite into your body, it is first psychological. It is first in your heart, in your mind, and then it manifests on your body. Is it having too much fat? And if so, then where are you lacking safety? Because when we talk about body fat, we are talking about the spleen organ. The spleen organ actually manifests on the face in many different ways. So if you have a lot of excess fat deposit over here, if you have a lot of heavy upper eyelids, which are really, let's say, baggy, a little drooping over, that's again your spleen element. If you have a very unformed or loose, flaccid lips, that's again your spleen overgiving. So when we talk about spleen, in my last video, you will check it out. The spleen organ is our earth element, okay? And our earth is deeply connected to safety. It is so deeply connected to safety, foundation, how safe do you feel? How much are you giving to other people? How much do you have for yourself? And people can take two ways out of it. Let's say you're completely burnt out and then you are pushing yourself more, and you're putting your body through, let's say, starvation or fasting or intermittent fasting. Let's say you're doing that. You are not going ahead in cycle. Like, I'm again talking about the 5-element theory. Your earth, your spleen, right, your earth element is next step, moving on to metal. Metal is all about luxury. It's stone, that's metal. But if you do starvation, if you do not nourish the earth, if you do not build safety, you're going to go back into the cycle, which means you have the fire element on top. So fire, earth, metal. We want to progress forward. We want to establish the cycle of mother and child. We don't want to go back into the cycle and go back to becoming fire. Because if you end up with this fasting route, right? Let's say you are chasing this goal of, oh my God, do I build first? Do I heal feel first, right? Like, I want this particular physique. Do I add more protein? Do I lift right now? What do I do right now? That's a state of chasing. So before even answering like, is protein good for you, not good for you, that's what my digestive map is for. That's what my Agni map is for. And you should definitely go for that. Check out what's your digestive state right now. And that's when we can decide all this. But before that, before we even go into this discussion, I want you to invite, like, why is your body holding on to fat in the first place? Why is your body not digesting protein in the first place? And that's when we do this conversation around spleen element. Because even the state of healing, there is actually no constant state of healing. And every single transformation that you have, it will show up on your body. And the first sign, the first invitation we want is to embrace the state. We want to just embrace the state deeply. Let me invite you into one more perspective, okay? So this state of healing that we refer to, it first has to become internal. If it is internal, if your spleen, you're nurturing it internally, if you're setting up boundaries, if you're not overgiving, which often women tend to do, right? So the work here of healing the spleen, it looks so different among men and women. The work is so profoundly different because women naturally are the caretakers. They are naturally the ones who override their boundaries to nurture others. The idea is instead, where am I not nurturing my body? Why is my body needing extra fat layer? Because trust me, honey, it's not that fat is bad. It's just a protective layer. It's there to buffer cortisol for real. If you are overly stressed, then what your spleen naturally does is it holds on to a little more fat. It holds on to a little more fat in order to actually protect you against stress. That's the body's reserve that the body can actually use when something negative happens. So it's all a mental shift first, right? The first step is not, hey, should I add more protein? Should I cut down on macros? Should I incorporate any fasting? It's actually to just know, okay, where am I overgiving, under nurturing myself? And if I am nurturing myself, then what does nurturing look like for me? Because oftentimes, a lot of people, what they do is, in terms of nurturing, they end up taking the non-good routes. If I'm pushing, if I feel like nurturing for my body, let's say mentally, I think that it's a zero figure physique. And if I chase that, for that, if I'm not eating breakfast, if I'm applying intermittent fasting, right? If I'm applying all these methods of starving, that's the signal my body is going to get. And trust me, even if you reach that state, it's not going to stay. Why? Here's the most beautiful part, because your earth element, it's responsible for holding. Your spleen is responsible for holding. In my private audits, I talk about this all the time with my clients, that your ability to hold money, hold relationships, not accumulate or not hoard a lot, and your ability to bleed as well. Like, how much blood are you producing? Are you bleeding on your periods? Are you bleeding too much or are you bleeding too little? This ability of holding things into place, of having muscles, holding structure into place, holding money into place, accumulating money and actually keeping it. Now, this is the beauty of your earth element. This is your stability. This is your spleen. So trust me, before you even approach this idea of healing, I want you to actually come back and actually nurture, actually build a robust spleen, earth element. Okay, so if your spleen is healthy, trust me, if your spleen is healthy, you do not need to chase a strong physique. Your hunger signals will naturally be optimal. You will not crave or look for satisfaction in food, etc. Right? You will have naturally great streams how you nurture yourself. You will find new streams, new beautiful streams how you nurture yourself, and there will not be a reliance on fat to buffer extra cortisol in your body. And I know in the mainstream, we are told so much about, hey, let's just cut down on carbs. Let's just try keto. Let's just try a lot of heavy fat sometimes, right? Let's just protein overload ourselves. And that's not the way to go. The way is always your earth element. The way is always your earth element. Your earth, your nurturance, your initial nurturance also will dictate how you process fat. It will also dictate how you buffer cortisol. And that's why the health of a mama before pregnancy is so important, right? Before you are on this DTC journey, it's so important to just strengthen your spleen element, your earth element. It's so important to have this nourishing ground, because once you have this ground, then you can go into the world and you will not hoard, you will let it flow. You'll not hold, you will not overpower, you will not need this kind of hoarding in order to keep your body sustaining everything. Let me walk you through one more profound learning in TCM, in Chinese medicine, right? It's about the face reading in Chinese medicine. Now, when we talk about this earth element, because this is so beautiful, this is so key, right? This is so key in being healthy, in having right relationships, and actually holding on to things in place, right? I'm going to walk you through how it manifests on the face. So, on the face, you have your lower cheeks, right? Just so these are the upper cheeks, these are the lower cheeks. So, this area, it should not be extremely scarce, let's say, or it should not be extremely, you have very no fat there. It should not be very sharp because again, we are talking about lack, and lack is also not something we want. So we don't want either a zero size figure either. This fat is so important. These are actually your reserves. I have a deep in detail post on this, that your fat is actually buffering cortisol, right? So it's not bad. It's not something that you want to immediately get rid of. So on your face, you're going to judge another feature, which is your upper lip. So this area, right? This area is so very important. Whenever I look at a woman and I'm trying to understand her reproductive health, whenever I'm consulting a woman on her TTC journey, I am looking at upper lip. So we want your lips very well formed. We don't want loose lips. We don't want lips which have lines all over. So a lot of people you will see, especially this happens in old age. If you see any person who has repressed their emotions, have overnurtured, you will see that their lips, they tend to lose shape and structure. They become very flaccid. At the same time, they will develop a lot of lines on their upper lip, a lot of lines coming up from the top, to their upper lip. And this means that they have neglected their cells and they have overnurtured others, right? Again, telling you this concept looks so different when we are working with men versus women, because women have this natural tendency to overgive. So if you're this, if you see your upper lip and if you see that there is not much structure, and if you see that there are a lot of lines coming up, I want you to pose back. I want you to reflect. I want you to nurture yourself. That's your homework. If you want to lose fat, nurture yourself. Find better ways of nurturing yourself, not the ways that you have been told to, or you think, or you assume that, oh my God, this is what is going to solve the problem. No, we are not going to do that. We are going to address the root. We are going to address why is this manifestation even here in the first place. And second, I want you to observe the color of your lip. The color of the lip says so much. If you see a darker shade of your lip, like a lot of people working with me, oh my God, in my private audit, I have so many examples that women who come with brown lips, purple lips, like a really darker pigment on their lips, like a natural lip color is purple, is darker, right? And after 1 month working with me, and the lips change color because your blood circulation is showing on your lip. Your spleen, your mouth actually manifests your stomach, your small intestine, and your spleen. So I want you to also observe the natural color of your lip. If it is darker, then I know there is stagnation in your body. Then I know things are not moving in your body. It can manifest as edema, water retention, brain fog, possibly dampness, just feeling heavy, just having a lot of fat gain, right? Not having smooth flow of periods, right? Maybe possibly having cramps during menstrual cycle, having weight gain is quite possible too. Could be hypothyroidism, could be fatigue. Yes, fatigue that doesn't go away, right? So all these symbolism of stagnation in the body, they can manifest. So again, we are again referring back to the flow of chi, which is governed by your earth element, your spleen element. So my love, I'm going to ask you again, where is it that you're not nurturing yourself? Where is it that the body is being pushed on? The fundamental of the body, the stability, the earth of the body is being shaken. Where is that space? We need to start there. We need to start there. That's our work. Our work is not to give you a protocol, hand you out, and send you home. It's to actually explore why this? Why do we have this right here? And lastly, the third feature, I'm so thrilled about it, is going to be your upper eyelid. Okay. So, your upper eyelid, if you see a lot of people, they have a lot of drooping, heavy upper eyelids, right? That's also not something we want, because your upper eyelids also represent your spleen. Right. So you may notice, actually, oh my God, everybody would have noticed this, right? On days that you feel extra bloated, the days that maybe you did not have a good sleep, you will experience that your upper eyelids are really puffy. I have women telling me in my private audit that, oh my God, I woke up and my face was just puffier. A lot of puffiness collected on the face, a lot of water retention collected on this face. And yes, I'm talking to you. This is what I'm calling as spleen weakness or earth weakness, right? Because the water metabolism depends on this. So, in that sense, again, I want you to nurture yourself, build the ground again. And the easiest way to go about it is actually to boost your Agni. It's actually to bring your Agni back into balance. So now you ask me, okay, how do I bring my Agni back into balance, right? How do I fix this Agni? It's going to be unique to your Agni type. I know a lot of people talk about digestive enzymes, BT-NSCL. Hey, just have this so and so food and you are going to boost your stomach acid. That's really not how it works, because there are three kinds of doshas. Let's introduce a little of Ayurvedic nuance in this topic now. There are three types of doshas. One is Vata, one is Pitta, and one is Kapha. So when we talk about these three different doshas type, you could land in either one of those three, or you could be a blend or a particular mix of these three. You could be a real complex case. And this is why I actually curated my Agni map. So if you go on my services page, you will find this digestive map, this digestive blueprint, where I ask you specific questions. I take in your symptoms, like your constitution, I analyze that, and I tell you exactly how your Agni is built like. And also in this discussion, I also bring this new concept of Prakriti and Vikriti, right? People who don't understand this, let me tell you, this is a little like what you were born as and the distortion from that. So we actually walk you through, these are the particular lifestyle triggers. These are the particular triggers that the body has, it has distorted from what it was born like. And each one of these doshas, I know we call it as dosha, which is something like blame, but it's not actually a blame. These doshas have very specific duties. Like all three of these doshas, the vata, the pitta, and the kapha, they have actual gifts that you are born with, right? And you need to know what your gifts are so you do not overextend, so you do not harm or shake your earth element. So just grab the digestive map. I'm also going to link it below this video, and you are going to have such a nice time exploring. If I could send you home with one question, it would surely be that: where is my earth not safe? What is leading to unsafety on my earth element? Why is my earth not feeling safe? What can I do to nurture myself more? So just start here. Do not keep an image of physique in your mind. This is the deep, real work. If you truly want to change, if you truly want to shift, you need to love yourself first. It will not happen because you're going to attract constantly what you're thinking about. So I want you to really just talk about what is it that you want and what is it that you do differently. See, this is the conversation around Prakriti and Vikriti. So I want you to go home and explore, what do I not like and why do I not like it, and why is this presentation even manifesting in the first place? Let's do that first, right? I'm also going to link the digestive map below. So you are so welcome. You're so welcome. You're so welcome, my love, to come and look at the Agni map. Just know your constitution, get my masterclass in which I actually give you the specific herbal recommendation for your case, and herbs do a tremendous difference as long as they're applied based on your constitution. So I analyze your constitution, I tell you, yes, this is your digestive map, these are your patterns in hierarchy, and that's when I tell you the herbal guide, right? You have my masterclass as well. So I invite you to that. It's going to be so fun. And let's just go home by not talking about healing as a project that's done one time and that's about it. You're just all here, we are walking home, we are being called home, right? We are all here on this plane to evolve. And every evolution, it requires a rebirth. It requires you leaving something behind. And the idea does not have to be, oh my God, I need to get to that state. It already has to be that, oh my God, I have learned my lesson. And this evolution is calling on to me. I'm so happy because I have already embodied the lessons. And this is why I upgrade. I do not upgrade just because I wish for it or I think this is good. I actually upgrade when I deeply believe, I love this. I love this. And that's when I have it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for this beautiful query. I had so much fun delivering this. Thank you.